And it broke first on headlines today, always on the pulse of news, much before anyone else. Afzal Guru hanged first on headlines today.
Hello and welcome to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat. Now, in our last show, we discussed additional rider benefits and their importance to your life insurance policy. In today's show, we continue where we left off last time and talk about the riders in a general insurance policy. Now, to know more about such riders in your general insurance policy, we have once again with us Yashish Dhaya, co-founder and CEO of Policy Bazaar, who will help us to understand how such riders work and how one should intelligently go about buying them. Now, Yashish, tell me, what is the difference between riders in a general insurance policy, which we are covering today, and a life insurance policy? Is there a huge difference?
So in a life insurance policy, cover is for the duration of the policy, which is usually longer than 1 year. It can be 10 years, 20 years. And the cover, the rider also is for the 10, 20-year period. Whereas in general insurance company, every policy is for 1 year, and hence the rider is also for that 1 year duration only. While in a life insurance policy, you must have a base policy, and the rider can only be a top-up on top of that base policy, or a rider on top of the base policy. In a general insurance policy, you can have a standalone rider, so you can take a rider just by itself. In a life insurance policy, you may pay monthly, quarterly, half-yearly, annually, because it's a long-term policy. In a general insurance policy, you always pay upfront for the entire month, for the entire year, right? For the duration of the policy. There's something about insurable interest. The insurable interest in a life insurance policy must exist at the time you buy a policy. So if you have income, you must have income at the beginning of the policy. Now, if that income goes away, that doesn't matter in a life insurance policy. Your insurable interest may not be there when you make the claim. However, in a general insurance policy, the insurable interest has to exist both at the time of buying the policy as well as when you have the claim. It's a minor point. It's not a very major point for most people. So essentially, if you have a car insurance, the car must exist. Without the car being there, you can't really make a claim. That's the most important part.
Well, talking about car insurance, just to understand the differentiation between different riders, how is, say, car insurance policy different from, say, the health insurance policy?
So, a very simple thing. In a health insurance policy, it is I, the individual, whose medical expenses in a way are being covered, or things related to my health are being covered. Whereas in a car insurance policy, it's the car which is being covered, not me. Now, that's the primary difference. But if you sort of break that down, if you kind of say, okay, in a car insurance policy, what are the kind of things that would tend to get covered? So let's try to structure that. There is one thing is a car has damage or scratches or whatever. In case of a total damage, you have something like return to invoice value. That's a rider. What that implies is, as a car depreciates, if it has a total damage, you get back what you paid originally in the original invoice. So if the original invoice was 5 lakhs and the car after depreciation is 3 lakhs, if it has a total damage, you still get the 5 lakhs, right? Now, the second piece you have is, what if the entire car doesn't get damaged, but only parts of it get damaged? There you have something known as a zero depreciation cover.
And that's something that's getting increasingly popular.
It has to get popular because, see, remember, if your car is 3 years old and is depreciated, let's say, by 40%, if you go and have a problem in a particular part or a scratch or whatever, even paints are going to come under that now. So then you will only get the depreciated value. You would only get 60%, 40% you have to pay. If you have a zero depreciation cover, you always get 100%. So the return to invoice and this one. You have a third one called a replacement. Now, you may not want the money. You may want your car back. You may just want a new car back. And also the price of cars keep changing. Some cars become more expensive. So if you want the new car back, you have a replacement mechanism, so you can get a replacement. Now, that is in terms of certain kind of cost side or depreciation side covers. Now, the second part you have is, it rains a lot here. So you have something known as engine protection cover. Remember, if your engine stalls because of leakage, or the engine gets spoiled with a leakage going to an accident or whatever, that is not covered under a normal insurance policy. So if it's rained, You have tried to make your engine work a few times, it doesn't work and it stalls. And after knowing that it's stalled, you try to restart it, and because of leakage or water, it doesn't work. The insurance company has the right not to pay you the claim, or it can argue.
Then they'll consider it as damage inflicted by self.
By self, exactly. So if it has an accident and some oil spillage keeps happening and the engine gets stalled, they would not cover it. Now, if you take an engine protector cover, then that's
covered. The rider then.
That's the rider. It's called an engine protector. Then it's covered. Now, the second part, assistance, roadside assistance. You have a puncture. If my wife is driving, sometimes she doesn't know how to fix a puncture. Ideally, you shouldn't drive if you don't know how to fix a puncture, but people do that in India. And you have roadside assistance. It's not just for a puncture. Sometimes your keys get lost. Sometimes your keys get locked in. Sometimes they get lost. Sometimes your battery runs out. You've gone somewhere in the winter, the car doesn't start, your battery's got locked out. So all these kinds of things where something can happen because of which you're not able to move your car or the car gets stalled, you can get essentially roadside assistance. In roadside assistance, they would not just provide you with immediate relief, like not only will somebody come and repair the car, they will tow the car to the nearest garage. They will even take you if it's middle of the night, they will even take you to the nearest hotel and sometimes even pay for the expenses of your hotel stay. So all this is covered in something known as the roadside assistance cover. So you should look at the options in a roadside assistance cover also. Then let's get to the individual, because you are also in the car. So you can have a personal accident, because if there's an accident, you can get hurt. So hurt, you would have either ambulance charges or you would have medical costs. All of this can be covered. There are special covers for that, for ambulance charges, for medical expenses, and in case a death happens, then there's a personal accident cover, which is quite cheap, which is quite low cost when you take it along with the car insurance. So all these are the kind of covers, if you look at them in a structured manner, these are the kind of covers that exist alongside a car insurance.
And that 30% ceiling that we talked about in life riders and life
that doesn't exist in general insurance. So the riders can be as high as one needs them to be, and they can even be standalone. They don't have to have a base plan with them. So you can go and take a personal accident cover just for yourself with no linkage to the car per se.
So Yashish, are there packages available as far as OPD is concerned? Because it seems to be an important component of health insurance.
Yeah, there are packages available, and also the tax break is available on these riders. So there are packages available. Now, in addition to OPD, you would have critical illness riders. You can also have a critical illness plan. You also have something known as an e-pinion plan, e-pinion rider. Now, the e-pinion is you're in India, but you want to take advice from a doctor abroad. So you take the opinion by mail. However, there is a cost to that, and that can be covered. There's also something known as children education rider. What this implies is if you are hospitalized and you are not able to sort of cater to your children's education, then during that period your children's education gets paid for through that particular rider. So these are some of the riders that you can look at when you're looking at a health insurance plan.
All right, Yashish, it's time for a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about travel insurance riders as well as your questions. We'll take some of those. But do keep watching. You can also write to us on ask.policybazaar.com or on Facebook/PolicyBazaar India, or you can tweet us at PolicyBazaar_in. Keep watching Policy Bazaar.
More style than you expected, more admirers than you asked for. Chevrolet sale, when life gives you more.
गाड़ी हो या लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, हमेशा डबल श्योर होना ही अच्छा है। तभी तो पंजाब नेशनल बैंक और मेटलाइफ ने मिलके बनाया पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, हुआ ना डबल श्योर।
Wrinkles. Anti-aging creams promise to make them disappear. But ask for proof and they all disappear.
Try new Lactocalamine Renew. It's Ulma E rebuilds collagen.
Nice, but...
9 organic extracts moisturize.
Good, but...
And NAM restores the lost glow.
Great, but proof?
Right inside. And they actually show your wrinkles going, gone in just 8 weeks.
Lactocalamine Renew. We don't just promise, we show with proof.
बचपन में पाया था, आज भी ऐसा कॉन्टिनेंटल 2-wheeler tires made by Metro.
मंत्री जी की तनख्वाह
देखिए, अलमारी में से कहाँ निकला है?
आप कंप्लेन नहीं करना चाहते?
ना, अगर पता चल गया कि वो 4 लोग आके हमारी बैंड बजा दिए, तो हो गई हमारी नेतागिरी फिनिश.
कोई बिजनेसमैन रिपोर्ट नहीं करना चाहता, but it will still be in tomorrow's newspapers.
मम्मा, मैं सिर्फ कार इंश्योरेंस रिन्यू कर रहा था.
बिना कंपेयर किए? Do you all buy insurance without comparing? PolicyBazaar.com पे जाओ, पॉलिसी साइड बाय साइड कंपेयर करो और पैसे बचाओ. PolicyBazaar.com.
Get unmatched safety with hazard lamps. The all-new TVS Phoenix 125. Ride premium class.
Simple language, quick procedures और innovative products. तो क्या आप choose करेंगे अपोलो म्यूनिक?
News is back. No endless debates, no screeching, no shouting. The day's biggest stories, exclusive investigations, ground reports. And the day's biggest newsmaker. Good evening and welcome. You're watching Center Stage, the most complete news experience.
Center Stage at 9 p.m. with Rahul Kaval. Only on Headlines Today.
Center Stage, brought to you by TVS Vigo. Find your V time. Apollo Munich Health Insurance. Metro Tires. And Park Avenue Sliver Face Wash. Recycle your face.
संगनी डायमंड ज्वेलरी, क्योंकि स्पेशल है वो.
I've been high, I've been low, I've seen smiles, so many miles, I've seen faces, so many places. तुम सब नहीं देखा, तुम सब नहीं देखा. You're so hot, you're so smooth, my heart's on a slide, my head's going wild. सब नहीं देखा.
More style than you expected. More admirers than you asked for. Chevrolet sale. When life gives you more.
Welcome back to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat and with me is Yashish Dhaya. Now Yashish, we were talking about riders as far as health insurance is concerned, car. Let's talk a little bit about travel insurance. And are there any riders that one can actually, choose?
Sure. So see, the base travel insurance plan is essentially meant to cover any loss of baggage, any health problems, passport loss, driving license loss, etc. However, in the jurisdiction that you are going to, you may face certain other costs as well. So you may have some legal costs, unfortunately, if you fall into a particular situation. Those legal costs, there is a legal cost cover rider that you can take alongside. There is something known as a bail bond rider. Now, a bail bond means, suppose these legal costs go beyond the normal, suppose you get arrested, and you need to have a bail, and to arrange that bail, there may be costs associated. So that is another cover that's there. As you are traveling, as you travel for a long period, there may be a chance that there's a burglary in your house. So you can have a home burglary rider. You may have, there's some interesting riders also, like there's one known as golf hole in one. So what that means is if you hit if you tee off and the ball goes straight away into the cup, then you're supposed to buy drinks for a few people, and it covers the cost of that. In addition to this, you will have certain other covers as well in travel insurance, but these are the primary
main
ones. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Yashish. Now it's time for your questions. We've got Abhinandan Das from Kolkata. He says, I'm 25 years old and I recently got my first job in Kolkata, and he has a salary of 22,000 per month. He wants critical insurance. He wants cashless health insurance policy for myself, and he says, please advise me on the best plans and also about the premium.
Sure. So I think he's quite young. he should first take a term plan and a health plan, maybe a health plan first and then a term plan. I think a health plan for about 3 lakh cover will cost him about 4,000 rupees. He can take it from many companies, Religare, Max Bupa, Apollo, Bharti AXA. As far as a term plan is concerned, he could take about a 20 lakh rupee cover. It will cost him again about 3,000 rupees per month. He's got plans from HDFC, Edelweiss, ICICI, Aviva.
So that's a lot of choice.
There's lots of choice, but the broad range is about total premium for a health insurance plan and a term plan of about 7,000 rupees a year, which given he's earning about 2.5 lakh rupees, he should be able to earn. He will get a tax break, so effective cost to him would be about 10% less basis his taxable income.
Thanks, Yashish. We've got Prem Singhal from Jammu, and he says, I have a health insurance policy of 2 lakhs in my name. He's 57. He's got 2 lakhs in his wife's name. She's 52, and 1 lakh in the daughter's name, and she's 21 from National Insurance. I want to buy a top-up plan for 5 lakhs each for myself and for my wife. Kindly inform me about the cheapest and the best top-up plans.
Sure. So a top-up is a great way to enhance your cover. But a top-up you don't get a top-up very easily unless you are below 45. So top-ups become difficult after below 45. Above 45, they start to become difficult. There are lots of companies that offer top-ups. The first place to go to is your own company, to National Insurance to get a top-up. It'll be difficult to get a top-up from another company when your primary policy is with somebody else. Star Health does offer top-up plans. Bajaj offers top-up plans. So you can speak to any of these companies. But my reckoning is you find it very difficult. My advice to people is to take a large health cover upfront because inflation does catch up. As I said, 10 years ago, 1 lakh was a large amount. Today, 1 lakh is a very small amount, or 2 lakh is a very small amount. So, one has to plan that way. That today, 5 lakh cover may look quite big for us, but as one looks 10 years out, the covers might be 20 lakhs. So, one does need to, be a bit cautious. But take all your top-ups and critical illness covers and all your covers, have them before 45. After that, it becomes tough.
Right. We've got Amit from Delhi, and he says, I'm thinking of buying a term insurance plan for 1 crore. My income this year is 3 lakhs. Is it safe to go ahead and buy the policy? And he also wants to know that if that income is not enough, then what should he go for?
So see, at a 3 lakh income, companies would be slightly wary of giving him a cover more than 30 lakhs to maximum 40 lakhs.
So multiple of 10, you say?
Multiple of 10 is the broad thumb rule. The way to see that is your income is roughly equivalent to the interest cost of that amount. So that's about 10%. That's also where it comes from. So yeah, a multiple of 10 is about sufficient. If he wants more than that, companies will question why he wants a bigger cover because it does not justify having that cover for his economic value for the amount he's earning. And the lifetime value of his income today, calculated today, is not that high. What that does is that increases the chance of a moral hazard. Someone like even his nominee could it's very unfortunate, but even a nominee can knock you off if your income is not enough and you've got a large life cover.
Right, we've got Amarmani Tripathi from Varanasi, and he says, I have a Kotak Secure investment plan with a yearly premium of 20,000. After paying 2 premiums of 40,000, the fund value was approximately 39,000, which I suppose is not a good return. He says, today I have paid the 3rd installment, but now I want to exit from the same. How much will I get in case I surrender it? He has paid 60,000 rupees till now.
Yeah, if I know correctly, this is just see if it's a 3-year or a 5-year lock-in. So complete your lock-in and then you can exit. However, I would advise against a lock-in now because yes, you've got 60,000 for the 60,000 you've invested, but from now on, all the amount you invest is largely going into growth. So I would not advise against an exit at this stage. See, most people, this is probably the most common question we get on investments. Most people want to exit by the 2nd or 3rd year. Do not do that. That's the worst time to exit. That's also the worst time of your policy.
Because a lot of the costs are going to be deducted.
It's the worst time for you from a returns perspective. The worst time is when the policy is 2-3 years old. Because the costs are there, the growth has not come in, some little bit of fluctuation is there. However, when you look at the same policy 10 years later, you'll feel quite happy about it. So just stay with it.
Right. With that advice, we've got Muthu Kumar from Kochi. He says, I'm working in Muscat, Oman on a contract basis. Which pure term policy with riders are suitable for me as I'm working out of India? He's an NRI. It should have, will there be any legal issues while claiming such a policy?
See, a person who's of Indian origin, if he buys the policy while they are in India, while they are working in India, as I said, in a life insurance plan, the insured interest must be there at the time of taking the policy. So you take the policy here. After that, if you go abroad, that policy is still valid because you've taken for a period of time. However, if you are working abroad, it's very difficult to get a policy which is a life insurance policy because you're working abroad, you're there. It's probably better for you to take a policy from there rather than take it from India.
Right. We've got Abhay from Pune. He says, I want to know about Bharti AXA life insurance product, Ajivan Sampati plan. He wants to invest 50,000 per annum on this plan. Is this the best suited plan for me? My age is 27 years.
It's a whole life plan, so it's a long-term plan. It goes on till the time the person is 100 years of age. It offers a 5.5% guaranteed return up to, I think, 5th year or something. After that, it kind of non-guaranteed, but expect about 5.5% kind of returns over the lifetime of the product. FDs don't give you that, and remember, FD interest rates are coming down. So FD interest rates are today 8%, but there's a tax advantage to investing in insurance because you get the tax break today and when you get the money. I've explained this many times, but suppose you invest 1 lakh rupees today, you're effectively investing 70,000 because 30% tax break is there. But when you get 20 lakh rupees 10 years from now, you will not pay a tax on the 20 lakhs. In an FD, and you will pay a tax.
That should be a big consideration for anyone.
That should be a very big consideration. So insurance usually manages to beat FDs because of the tax consideration. Now, from that perspective, given the long-term nature of this plan, it's not a bad plan. Most whole life plans are not such bad plans, if you look at the long-term nature of them.
Right, we've got another question from Devi from Pune, and she wants to know, she wants to make a claim in Max New York life insurance, and she says there's a lot of controversies arising out of it regarding the documents. If possible, can you suggest any number or help me out in this accidental claim? So it is an accidental claim. So what suggestions would you have? Very few details that we have as far as
I think we've got few details, but you know, the most important thing in a claim, in an accidental claim, is to have your FIR of the accident and have the hospital records that say that there was an accident and there was a cost associated to it, or you bore some cost, and make sure these two are provided along with your policy to your insurance company. You should get a response, I think.
And an assessment from the workshop.
And assessment, that's if there is anything that goes to a workshop involved. So far, I haven't seen that there's anything that goes to a workshop involved. So far, it seems like there's a personal accident or an accident, which means the person has gone to hospital, had some cost.
So it comes under the preview of.
So it comes under. So accident has to be under an FIR, and the cost has to be from a medical person. Now, in case you do not hear from an insurance company or insurance company does not respond, then there's the ombudsman. There is the IRDA Consumer Affairs cell that you can reach out to, and I'm sure you know, the company has got a good reputation. It will kind of honor the claims. That should not be a problem.
Thanks, Yashish. Now that's all the time that we have on this show. Do keep writing to us on ask.policybazaar.com or on Facebook /PolicyBazaar India, or you can tweet us at PolicyBazaar_in. We'll see you next time on Policy Bazaar. Keep watching.
कैशलेस अप्रूवल सिर्फ 65 मिनट्स में, तो क्या आप चूज करेंगे अपोलो म्यूनिक?
मिनिस्टर साहब, मैंने